Ladies and gentlemen, huge news. Supreme Court keeps in place Trump-era policy. This is huge. Republican attorneys generals from 19 states had filed a last-ditch request to prevent the unwinding of Title 42. The interesting thing about all of this is that a lot of the law, or a lot of people advocating for the law, hide behind semantics. So the issue is that Kamala Harris, the people at Martha's Vineyard, wonderful, morally superior, highly educated liberal Democrats, when confronted with the consequences of their own policies, turn into Trump Republicans immediately. When you had human beings going to Martha's Vineyard, within a day they were sent to a military base. So that should show you that Democrats become Trump Republicans when it involves security details for left-leaning congressional congresspeople, $30,000, $100,000 a year for security details when they advocate against the Second Amendment. At the end of the day, Democrats become Trump Republicans when the lights are off, or when their lives are at risk, or when their policies simply do not work. So you had 19 states, and this isn't even a conservative or liberal issue, really. You had 19 states saying, if this policy does not continue, if Trump's policy does not continue, you end Title 42, there's going to be further chaos, mayhem, atrocities taking place. You have people losing their lives. Like 40 to 50 people lost their lives in a truck not long ago. And not a word from AOC. Not a word from morally superior Democrats. They only cared when it was Trump. See, this is the thing. The people who vote Democrat, vote blue no matter who, listen to all the 1 million sub to 4 million sub YouTubers, they watch CNN and read the Washington Post and New York Times, and they got interested, really interested in politics during Trump's administration. They never really interested in politics. They got really interested when Trump became the menace, this embodiment of criminality and every horrible thing on the planet. And they didn't realize that everything you don't like about Trump, if you really had that value system, it's worse under the Democratic Party and under Biden. It's worse. The atrocities taking place at the southern geographic region of our country are worse than any time during Trump's administration. It is complete chaos, and media does not want to cover it because it would hurt Democrats. I remember hearing in 2016 and 2015, well, that'll help Trump. Corruption, criminality within the Democratic Party, failed policies. Of course that'll help the competitor of Donald Trump. Of course that'll help Trump as a competitor to the Democratic Party. Hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is very important news for the country. And notice how, and I want dreamers to become citizens. So I have friends who are dreamers. I want dreamers to become citizens. Donald Trump told Congress, told Democrats, if you allow him to build that wall that would have prevented all of this, he would give immediate citizenship to dreamers. That was the negotiated deal, or that was the deal that he wanted to negotiate. Democrats said no. And they still haven't. They still haven't given Democrats citizenship to dreamers. So that should tell you what the Democratic Party is all about. But hit subscribe to this channel. Again, I'm pretty conservative on most things now. A lot of things I'm still maybe liberal on, but I don't see it as maybe liberal or conservative. I see it as, hey, look, you know what? Dreamers, I see a completely different story if they come here at a young age than, for example, what's taking place right now without any, without any ability to stop criminal behavior, atrocities, people getting taken advantage of, all of these terrible things in the southern geographic region of our country, and the resources that local states and towns have on that region in that region of the country. Martha's Vineyard said they had no resources. That is exactly the Trump Republican viewpoint. That is exactly. Then the rebuttal was, well, there are facilities that towns in Texas and Arizona have that and other states that Martha's Vineyard doesn't have. Well, they're all millionaires in Martha's Vineyard. They can't build those facilities, and by the way, those facilities are overrun. So yet again, your argument is easily refuted. Hit subscribe every day at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. I'll have a segment on this channel, but set your dials 8 a.m. in the morning and 11 a.m. in the morning when you're riding to work, eating breakfast, drinking coffee. Just set your dial to 8 a.m. Pacific time on this channel, ladies and gentlemen. You can share. I'd be honored to share the mornings with you, 8 a.m. and then 11 a.m. Pacific time on this channel. I will have YouTube videos up at those times every single morning forever on this channel. So at least you can expect videos on this channel and expect every morning to just look at 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Even if you don't get the notification, that's important. That's an important thing that I want people to realize. Hit subscribe. Tell your friends about this channel. I will have a live stream tonight at around 9 p.m. Pacific time. We'll talk about this almost certainly. And become a member if you want to for this channel. As members, you get perks, and if you want to become a Patreon, your Patreon support long-term is greatly, greatly appreciated, ladies and gentlemen. Go to hagoodman.com as well to read my writings, see my debates, but also to become part of a newsletter. Ladies and gentlemen, because, I can't explain everything I want to explain, because simply, the terrible, atrocious events taking place every single day, criminal behavior, but also you have narcotics entering the country. You have mainly, the most important to me, because unfortunately there's a demand in this country. That's an issue that needs to be addressed. But you have complete lawlessness, and the people tasked with ensuring that law exists are overwhelmed. It's not a priority for Democrats because anything important that Republicans or conservatives care about, they turn into, well, this is about prejudice, this is about bigotry, when it's actually not. Calling something a bigoted or prejudicial viewpoint is the lifeblood of the Democratic Party. That's their first go-to. It's not about actually solving problems. It's about, that's why they redefine words. Most Democrats, just to let you know, and I was the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of Sanders' most hardcore voters according to the Washington Post, before I became a supporter of Trump and DeSantis. If God forbid Trump doesn't want to run anymore, I don't think that'll happen, but I'm saying DeSantis, I think, is actually better than a lot of people think. But I understand the mentality on the left. The mentality is believe anything for fear of being viewed as a Trumper or bigoted or prejudiced. You'll find less bigotry among Trump supporters than you will among Democrats. You will find less prejudice on average. You will. And people might say, well, that's not true at all. Oh my God, look at this example. Look at that example. You need only look at the Martha's Vineyard debacle. These people don't really believe in their policies. They believe in, or the 200 million barrels of strategic petroleum reserves as Democrats pontificate about the environment. But Democrats look at people, human beings, as a cog in their political system. They look at human beings as, hey, you should think like us. You should think like this. You must view this. You must view things in this way. And if you don't, you're not really the person who you are. And so when Democrats focus and pontificate about identity, they don't really mean that. They mean any viewpoint or understanding of reality that correlates with their own. And so there could be a situation where Democrats should get involved, where they should want to address the situation, but they don't. Notice I'm speaking in roundabout terms just because I have to. I'm trying to grow this channel. And the reason that they were against Trump's policies, most of Trump's policies, one policy in particular I was against. The separation, I was against that with Trump. But what's taking place is even, he ended that also, he reversed that But what's taking place is even worse. People are losing their lives at a faster rate, and more atrocities are happening. And of course, the Democrats that oppose Trump don't care. Do you think AOC, okay, Yad Vashem had to refute AOC's distorted historical claim. And that distorted historical claim, which is anti-Semitic, by the way, if you want to paint everything as twisted in terms of revisionist history and a bizarre statement as that word, that's exactly what it was. Yad Vashem in Jerusalem refuted AOC's distorted claims about centers that existed under Trump and Biden. But notice how if they exist under Biden, then they're overrun far more than they were under Trump. Suddenly AOC doesn't say anything. But I wrote a Jerusalem Post op-ed on that. And the hysteria, the labeling of Trump as a monster, suddenly the good people, the nice people, the compassionate people are in charge, and things are worse. How does that happen? How does that happen? And you don't see AOC crying and looking at a chain link fence. Why? Because Democrats really don't care about their policies. They care about feeling good about themselves. It's basically a cult at the expense of, like, for example, dreamers who should be citizens in my view. And they could have been had Democrats played ball with Trump. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe to this channel right now.